Hi, this is Diana Lidstone, the Entrepreneur's GPS, and I'm doing an interview today with my great friend Doris Belland, and I am so excited because she is going to be a gold sponsor at the upcoming Shift the Money event in Ottawa, September 21st at the Hilton Garden Inn. And it seems like Doris and I keep bumping into each other all through our networking, wherever we are. It's I turn around and whoop, there's Doris. So it's very appropriate that I think she speaks at the money event. So Doris, would you please tell our listeners and watchers, exactly what it is you do and what is your passion?
Sure. So in a nutshell, I have an academic version, but really what it boils down to is I help women rock their finances and create really strong financial options for themselves. And I do that through women-only education environments. So I have workshops, and in February, I launched a monthly women's money group. And essentially what that provides is ongoing financial education. How does money work? How do you make it work for you? And how can you actually get to a point where it serves your highest, best interest? So that's what I teach in an either ongoing format through the Women's Money Group, where women get ongoing feedback, support, accountability, and also workshops. So I'm an educator, I teach financial literacy, but really the fun of it is it changes lives when you figure out how money works and how to make it work for you.
That's so important because I don't know if you know, but I spent, I think it was about 4 years working for a financial advisor.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yes, as a marketing coordinator. And one of my jobs, one of the things I created was a 6-week program for him to teach women about money. Because, I mean, in talking to the women that I knew, I found out that so many of them knew nothing about finances, and they went, well, my husband will take care of that.
Mm-hmm.
Or
very common. Yeah.
It's too complicated, or there's all kinds of excuses why women haven't in the past stepped up and dived into their own finances. So congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. So you asked me what's my passion. My passion is precisely that, leveling the playing field between men and women. And this is not a negative comment on men. It's simply a reflection of the reality that women have far less confidence when it comes to pretty much anything financial. And I did a research project last fall where I talked to women from coast to coast to coast in Canada and asked them to, all sorts of questions about their finances. And we, on the whole, feel pretty good about managing money, but there's some pockets, some very big pockets, including investing, dealing with debt, standing up for ourselves, taking control of money, where we have a tendency to abdicate to others, and often men, and that leaves us vulnerable. And the reality is, the data clearly show that there's a wealth gap between men and women, and that's my goal. That's my goal, is to narrow that gap. And the way to do that, and I've proven it with the work that I've done, is to build up women's knowledge and confidence, because it's not enough to know stuff. You have to feel confident in how to use the information you have. And once you've got those two powerful ingredients, those are life changers for women, and the results speak for themselves.
I'm sure. Do you have a particular, perhaps, client success story that you would like to share? I mean, you don't obviously have to use names, but
yeah. I'll talk to you about my most recent testimonial. And so this is a gal who joined the Women's Money Group right out of the gate in February when I launched it. And the very first topic we had fits in very well with the work that you do, because it's all about your mental mindset, your money mindset, patterns, beliefs, blocks, because a lot of us don't take the time to figure out, where are we at? What is it that we believe? And what have we inherited from our parents, from our environment, from our peers? It's the kind of subconscious beliefs that have a huge role in the way that we choose our actions and the way that we behave. So anyway, this gal joined in February, and we recently had a celebration night in July just to say, hey, let's talk about everything that you guys have learned. Let's do a recap and celebrate the success stories, the action that you've taken. And she blew me away. This is a professional lady. She has pretty good income. She's in the health field. But she said she's not earning as much as she feels she wants to earn and ought to earn. She had a ton of debt and just felt overwhelmed by it all. Just didn't even know where to start. And she said, when you start reading, she's a highly intelligent, highly educated woman, but she said, you start reading and there's literally thousands of books on the topic. How do you know where to start? How do you know if it's even going to work for you? So anyway, systematically in the courses, we started tackling these areas and the values-based planning and how to eliminate debt. And she stood up and said, so in 5 months, I have had a complete mindset shift, just from ongoing education and support, which is so important for women. And a community where you feel safe asking questions, because, a lot of us feel stupid when we have questions. We're like, I bet you everybody knows this and I'm the only one who doesn't, which, by the way, is absolutely not true.
For sure.
Anyway, so she, through that process, has had a complete mind shift change. And she said her income has gone up significantly. She has started to really tackle that debt and had made a huge inroads in paying off her debt. And she said everything has changed. The way she approaches money has changed. She is on top of her money. And she said, most importantly, it no longer intimidates me, which I was like, that's my hallelujah moment, And I said, so how did your income grow? What did you do? And she said, just paying attention, staying on top of it as we were learning. And as I was getting them to do these exercises, she said, the more you get engaged, the more you start to fine tune your mindset, and the more you pay attention and apply some very basic systems, she said, it is almost inevitable. Now imagine that, if we could say to women, inevitably growing your income, inevitably improving your finances. Anyway, it was an amazing testimonial, and there's no rocket science in there, Diana. Like, it's just, honestly, it's learning how to tackle this one step at a time, taking the emotion, putting it at bay, and saying, I am not stupid, I am learning, I have legitimate questions. And by the way, a million other ladies have the very same questions. So she did that, and she's having a great time in rocking her finances.
Awesome. Amazing.
Yeah.
So you're going to share the stage with me for a little bit at Shift. Can you give the listeners, watchers a little, perhaps inclination about what you're going to talk about?
Yeah. So the teaser is I'm going to talk to women about what does the data show about where women are at? Because sometimes it's very isolating, and you're going to have a crowd of entrepreneurs. It's even more isolating for us because we often work on our own, or we feel like we're, swimming alone in this vast ocean. So I'm going to say, what does the data show about how women are doing? And I'm going to share one thing that I teach, just one. It's probably the most pivotal thing that I teach. I will share that with the ladies and just say, if you do nothing else, here's what this has done. This one thing alone to start tackling your finances, and just about the importance of having a supportive community and unbiased education, which is so important because so many of the sources where we get our information are biased. They have a vested interest. They have something to sell us. Sure. And so I strip that away and I just say, let's take a look at pure data. Let's take a look at unbiased information and say, what difference can this make in your life? And by the way, every single lady can do this for herself. So that's a snippet of what I'm going to share.
Awesome. So how can people sort of, maybe, I don't want to use the word stalk you, but find out about you for Shift? So where can they go? What's the name of your business and how can they find you? Yeah.
So my business is called Your Financial Launchpad. They can go to my website of the same name, www.yourfinanciallaunchpad.com. And if they want to get a sense of who I am and what I'm like, they can read my blog posts. I've got over 100 posts talking about every aspect of money, everything to do with success, basically, as it ties into women. I'm particularly focused on women. My blog is a great place to get a sense. I've also written a book, Protect Your Purse, Shared Lessons for Women, and that's about my own story of having been widowed at 32. I'm happily remarried. I've got 2 kids, but at 32, just having lost my husband, I inherited $400,000 worth of debt. And that was a life-changing moment for me. So paid that off in a couple of years. It tells that story, the story of 30 other women, actually 36 other women, and talks about life lessons. So that's a great place to learn about me. And I've also got a Facebook page where people can see what sorts of articles that I post, because I'm always posting stuff that I think is in the service, the highest best interest of women.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And I really look forward to having you speak at Shift. I know you're going to add a ton of value. It's a perfect fit for that day where we're going to talk about money. So
I'm looking forward to your event.
Thank you so much.
All right. My pleasure.
All
Thanks,
right.
Diana.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.